Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. All right, let's kick off our first story with a masterclass in shutting down creeps, because some people just never learn. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so we don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Drunk guy challenges me to make him cry, so I did. I, 23-year-old female at the time, now 32-year-old female, was at a conference in downtown Atlanta. Me and my colleagues were all 5 of us women of color and members of a fancy research fellowship that gave us the privilege to be learning at this amazing conference. Conferences like these are basically educational vacations anyway. We'd flown halfway across the country from a rural area to this super fun city, and after a day of speaking engagements, we decided to go grab some drinks and snacks at one of the many bars in the nearby area. We found a table, each got a beer or cocktail, and we're all chatting about what else we might do with our time in the city. Enter the creep. A guy, 35-ish, male, comes up to our table right behind me to chat us up. I'm the smallest of the group, and he started by placing his hands on me and my friend's shoulders, and while he spoke, his hand eventually landed on my lower back. I internally cringed through it because 2015 was a different time, and unfortunately, I was slightly more tolerant of drunk men being jerks. For the moment, it was professional decorum. I don't know, he jovially asked us what we're all doing here in Atlanta, trying to chat up the table. This is where I should mention we are Native American, so not something you normally see in downtown Atlanta. Not dressed in traditional regalia or anything, but facial features and skin tone. Maybe accents? Anyway, he seems harmless because he obviously can't separate the 5 of us, and he only has his hand touching my lower back where only I can feel. Some of his friends, holding their beers, come over for this fun interaction. My colleague tells him we're all here for a conference and we're presenting research. We're going to be counselors and therapists someday. She's a mama bear, and she yells over the cacophony, "We're going to be therapists." He hears that and says, "Oh, therapists. So you know how to make people cry." They all laugh. I haven't said anything so far, and he's been effing rubbing my lower back. I cocked my head back, looking into his eyes. "Yeah, maybe someday." Cute AF. He says, "Try me, sweetheart." I look him in the eye, stone-faced, and say, "Tell me about your relationship with your father." Creep went stone solid. He dropped his leathery hand off my back, his eyes narrowed and flashed red. He takes a step back and turns around, slamming his fist on a table before leaving through the back door. My colleague says, "OP, WTF, that was mean." "What? He asked me to." Ladies, you don't have to put up with this crap. Quit trying to be nice to creepers. That's exactly what they are, and they do not deserve any consideration whatsoever. He did that because no one stopped him the last times he did that. He got away with it. And our second story. She thought she could game the system. The system said, "Pay up." I work at a call center for a major telecom operator. Let's call them MJ in my country. My job's relatively simple and easy. I call newly subscribed customers to check if their installation went as planned and if the contract is as they requested. One day, I was assigned to call Maria, a new customer who recently subscribed to MJ's services. She got a fantastic package for a great price, which included a free 32-inch TV, 1 month of free service, and 12 months of free sports channels. Me. "Hi, my name is IDS1998, and I'm calling from MJ about your recent subscription to our service. I just want to make sure everything's going well and that you're happy with the service." Maria. "Oh, hello, I'm very happy. Much better than insert major telecom number 2 here. But my daughters aren't. They don't have enough internet on their cell phones." Me. "Okay, let's check your daughter's cell phone plans. I see here both your daughters have 10 gigabytes for regular navigation plus 15 gigabytes for social networks, 5 gigabytes for YouTube, and 5 gigabytes for Netflix. Could you tell me where they're lacking internet?" Maria. "I think it was Facebook." Me. "I see. Your daughters have used around 10 gigabytes of mobile data on WhatsApp and 5 gigabytes on Facebook. To make you even happier, I'll apply an additional 5 gigabytes for free for 24 months on your contract. Does that sound good?" Now, this extra 5 gigabytes is something I'm offering out of my own will. It's not company policy, but we have a free use policy that allows us to offer this to keep customers satisfied, as long as it's responsible and doesn't affect the value of the contract. Maria, I don't think 5 gigabytes is enough. Make it 20 gigabytes. Me, I'm sorry, Miss Maria, I can't do that. Using 15 gigabytes in just 1 week on Facebook and WhatsApp is a bit excessive. What I can offer you instead is making both of your daughter's numbers unlimited mobile data for just 10 euros extra per month for both phones as a special offer. Does that sound better? Now, this offer is something I cleared with my supervisor beforehand. I just wanted to make the customer happy and finish the call. Maria, I'd like to pay the same, but unlimited internet for 10 more euros sounds good for the happiness of my little angels. Me, all right, your contract has been updated and both your daughters will have the new data plan activated within the next hour. Maria, sounds great. So how are you going to refund me for the time I didn't have this contract? Me, I'm sorry, what refund? Is there an issue with your service? Maria, it's working, but before I didn't have unlimited internet and I had to listen to my daughters complain that they didn't have internet on their phones. I'd like a refund for the time before I had unlimited internet. I was in shock, and it took me a moment to gather my thoughts. Me, so your service has been fine, there's no problem, and you're asking for a refund for the week because the contract didn't align with your needs? At this point, I was considering just giving her 10 euros to go to bed since we don't get paid for overtime. But we have banked hours, it evens out. Maria, don't be silly, I want the whole month, obviously. Me, Miss Maria, that's not possible. There was a high usage of mobile data from your daughters, and the company provided the service as outlined in the contract. Maria, well, if you can't make me happy with this request, I'll have to cancel the contract. Me, Miss Maria, just to confirm, you want to cancel your contract because we won't give you a free month of service, even though you already received 1 month free? Maria, that is correct. Doesn't your supervisor say the customer's always right? Me, I'm sorry, Miss Maria, I can't give you another free month on top of the one you've already received. The service provided was in line with the contract. Do you still want to cancel? Maria, yes, I do. Also, I'd like your name and company ID to file a complaint about you being so bad with customers. Me, I'll transfer your call to the cancellation department. My name is IDS 1998, and for company ID, I cannot provide that information as it's private. I'm sorry. Maria, I want your company ID before you transfer the call. Me, I'm sorry, I can't provide the company ID. To file a complaint, all you need is my name and the time of the call. It states this on our website. Maria, just transfer the call. Your colleague will comply with my request. You're good for nothing. Me, I'm transferring your call now. I transferred her call and my colleague didn't tolerate her demands. He immediately started the process to cancel her contract without engaging further. I reviewed the internal report on the situation, and although both my colleague and I handled the situation well, I should have offered a better price for the data plan. It should have been 6 euros, not 5 euros. The contract was canceled, Miss Maria lost all her offers, and the best part, she was hit with a 500 euro early termination fee and 320 euros for the service installation. Seems to me like the customer's always right mentality's fading as newer generations of both employees and managers are recognizing that employees have a right to dignity, and customers that don't respect that aren't worth the business. And our last story. My neighbor turned my farm into his junkyard, so I had his wrecks scrapped. I inherited a beautiful farm from my grandparents, a place filled with memories and years of hard work. It was my home, my land, and I had every intention of keeping it clean and well maintained. Unfortunately, my neighbor didn't share the same mindset. This guy wasn't exactly the most sociable. His own property looked more like a dump than a farm. Trash was scattered everywhere, and his yard was filled with rusting, broken-down cars. Every now and then he managed to piece together a working vehicle from the scrap, but for the most part his property looked like a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. At first I didn't care, his land, his mess. But then his mess started creeping onto my land. One day I noticed a couple of his wrecks sitting on my property, thinking maybe he made a mistake. I went over to talk to him about it. Hey, I saw a few of your cars on my land, I need you to move them. He barely looked up and brushed it off. Oh yeah, I just need to store them there for a week. I promise I'll move them soon. I should have known better. Weeks passed, then months. Not only were the cars still there, but more kept appearing. My land had turned into his personal overflow junkyard. I went back. This time I wasn't so polite. You said a week. It's been months. Move your crap off my land or I'm calling the cops. He barely reacted. Yeah, I'll get to it, he muttered, completely dismissing me. That was it. I had enough. That's when I remembered something important. My wife's brother, Chad, runs a car recycling business. The moment I put two and two together, a glorious plan formed in my mind. I waited for the perfect moment. One day, the neighbor left town on business. The second he was gone, I called Chad and gave him the green light. Within hours, tow trucks rolled onto my land, loaded up every single one of those rusting wrecks, and hauled them off to be scrapped. 10 worthless, rusted-out junk cars gone. By the time the neighbor came back, his valuables had been turned into scrap metal. I knew he'd be pissed, but I wasn't prepared for the sheer level of meltdown that followed. The moment he realized his cars were gone, he stormed over to my house, screaming like a lunatic, "You stole my property! Where the hell are my cars?" I smirked and leaned against my porch railing. "Oh, you mean that pile of trash you dumped on my land? Yeah, I cleaned up my property." He was foaming at the mouth as he pulled out his phone and called the cops. "Good. Let's do this the right way." When the officers arrived, he was yelling and ranting about how I'd stolen his cars. The cops turned to me, and I simply handed them the land ownership paper showing the exact property lines. I was just clearing my land of unauthorized trash, I explained. One officer turned to the neighbor. "Did you have permission to store your, vehicles on his property?" The neighbor stuttered, trying to come up with an excuse. I thought he was okay with it. I cut in. "No, I told him months ago to move them. He ignored me." The cops took one look at the paperwork and shrugged. "Nothing illegal here. It's his land. He's allowed to remove anything he wants." The look on my neighbor's face was priceless. He wasn't done, though. "I'm going to sue you. I could have made at least $1,000 off those cars." I laughed in his face. "Yeah, good luck finding a lawyer to take your case." After grumbling and cursing, he stomped off, knowing damn well he had no case. I wasn't going to let him try this again. The very next week, I had a sturdy fence built around my entire property. Now he can keep his junk where it belongs, on his own damn land. After that, he never spoke to me again. OMG, he had the nerve to call the cops on you? Watching him try to explain to the police why you couldn't clean up your own property must have been the highlight of the year. And let's be real, he knew he had no case the second you pulled out the property documents. The cops were probably trying not to laugh while they shut him down. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.